You need to look at the camera when you talk too.
This is a mess.
Is this the first episode you guys ever done?
All right. Well, Dave, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure having you on. For everybody who doesn't know Dave, he is an 16 times CrossFit Games Programmer, -2, obviously. You know, little gap year there.
There we go.
Another fun fact about Dave, he once pulled a 405 deadlift for 13 seconds.
That was actually probably for 65.
Okay.
And
My apologies.
it was a lot, and it was much longer than 13 seconds. I think it was like close to 20 seconds.
And another fun fact is Dave did have cornrows at some point in his life.
Yeah, at the CrossFit Games. We did them in Carson, and I think it was 38 or 39. And every year at the games, I'd do something crazy with my hair. And that year, I was like, hey, we're here. We're in LA. I'm going to do some cornrows. And I'm going to find someone authentic to do my cornrows. And we went to Compton, found someone authentic, and they put cornrows in my hair. And I wore them through the weekend, and I loved it. People hated it. I loved it. And then when I got home Monday, I took them out, and my hair was like poof.
What was
This year you should do the cornrows and then just leave the poof for the games.
Well, the thing is, I said, so here's why I did that. I said, when I hit 40, by the time I hit 40, I'm going to stop doing stuff with my hair, because at that point, it's no longer cool. I'm not going to be like 30 years from now looking back and when I was in my 40s, I had cornrows at the game. That's not cool. You know, so once I turned 40, I stopped all the hair antics. But prior to turning 40 at the games, I was getting creative.
So how old were you when you had cornrows? Or
Probably
young?
39, because I think that was my last. I think that was the last go. That was the last hurrah. With
Wait,
the
how
hair.
old are you now?
47.
Dang, I did not know that.
Yeah, getting old.
You feel old?
I'm starting to feel old. I'm starting to feel like recovery takes a little longer.
You could be my dad.
I can be. That's the thing. Like, so when I started this, I was the age of a lot of these athletes, and now here we are, almost 20 years later, and I am old enough to be a parent of a lot of these athletes. So it's a trip. It's a trip going through the history of it all in my mind and the evolution.
Wait, so you do a CrossFit workout every day?
Yeah, but I take a couple rest days during the week, so I don't train every day.
You go to like a
I do.
class?
No, I follow main site right now. So I follow main site, and I go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I take off, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I take off. And right now, for the past 5 or 6 months, I've been following main site programming. Before that, I programmed for myself. And so I also run a lot. I'll mix in running with that. So, but yeah, one workout a day type of guy
That's
in
very
my
intense.
garage.
We need to pause and let the world know why we're our other counterpart.
Justin, last minute, he's remodeling his house, had something come up, had to run over there, and so
I thought it was because he doesn't like me because I'm friends with Sevon. That's what I assumed. I'm like, okay, when I got on and didn't see Justin, I'm
He's
like,
just not
oh
here.
man. Or he also doesn't like me because I said Jason was the future of the sport in Knoxville.
like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and
The
he still
Mac
is.
champ.
He still holds that over your head.
Yeah, he does.
We hear that story most likely like every week.
His mom bought a leather belt for him. I make custom leather belts, and his mom built a leather belt for my website. And the thing is, you have to you have to measure it a specific way, because these belts they're not true to your waist size. If you wear 34, the actual leather belts probably needs to be cut or measured at a 36 or 38. And so she ordered him a 34 just off the website, and he got the belt and it was way too small. And so I wanted to tell him on this, if I would have seen him, to remeasure, send me his measurements, and then I'll send him the right belt. But
I'll take a belt.
He'll hear that message. Well, so find your favorite belt, and what you need to do is you from right here, from this point here, measure the length of it all the way to the hole that you most often use,
All right.
and then that's the dimension I need to cut for you, and I'll hook
All
you
right.
up.
I
I'll
still
send you
got
one.
your little leather thing on my keys.
Yeah. Little keychain thing. Like, and you can
That's
tell how like I can tell how much weight I'm losing by which one, or how fat I am. So sometimes, right now I'm east down
Up
here, but
up
sometimes it
top
creeps
was
all the
when you
way.
weren't running.
Yeah, look at sometimes it creeps up there. Sometimes that's like crazy. That's the range of like how I fluctuate, how I'm eating, and how I'm working out.
That's
It
wild.
looks like most often it's this one, but sometimes it's down here,
yeah.
sometimes it's up here.
I'll get you my sizes.
Why aren't you guys at Mac right now?
Punch that ticket.
You did. You did. You both did. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
We did it. We did it together.
Yeah, but I
We
figured
did.
there might have been sponsor obligations or touching saying hello to the fans and the people, interacting with them.
If it was closer, I definitely would have gone. Plus, one of the guys I train with, Ty Jenkins, he's 19. I think he's got a real shot. So it'd be sick to watch him. But
Who do you think are going to be the two guys who get their spot this week?
I'm gonna go with Ty and um, George Sterner.
dang, can't believe you took that. I was like, we were talking about Ty and maybe Jack Rosema earlier in the week, but I think
What
George would
about
be
Kale
sick.
Lehman? I think he might punch it here.
I don't think
Is
Kale's showing up.
is he going or is he not showing up?
I I would put money on him not showing up.
What do you think? What do
But
you think
I
about? What do you
would.
think about that situation? Hold on. Hey, I just want to say I've never taken top five in the Open before, and it's been a lifetime goal of mine. And I've never even been in the top 10. This year, I'm six, and so there's
Yeah,
someone ahead of me
yeah,
that
it's him. It's him. Yeah.
so
I'll say this: the situation is ongoing. Like it's not
okay,
over. Yeah.
okay.
We're looking into it all, and
So
we're
it's so the Open leaderboard is not yet final.
I wouldn't say that. I would say his situation is not yet final. We're looking into
Whatever
his situation.
whatever
So if
happens, the number by Jason's name should not change.
it should just be a blank fifth, that would be
I would
funny.
love if Kale showed up and you know took like 10th or whatever. Even just
Yeah, I would love that too. Just kind of put everything to rest,
yeah.
and
Hold on. So
and
the
we could all
people
move
definitely
on.
want to know because there will be more questions after this. What does that mean that the situation is ongoing? Can you fill us in with some details?
Not with details, but I'll say we're like clearly looking into it and talking to people and looking at the whole picture of everything that happened and what's going on and been in communication with him. Again, I'm not going to get into too many of the details here, but we
There's
heard
no
and
better
we
place than to get into the details.
we heard and we saw what's going on, and we are taking a look at it all. So that's what I mean with that. What about the women? Who do you think's going to qualify on the women's side?
Brooke, I don't know anybody else really competing.
I'm trying to remember.
Kyra is competing.
Milligan?
Caroline
Caroline
Stanley.
Stanley. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going with her. I'm going Brooke and Caroline.
Okay. Brooke was. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised she's competing.
Well, she told you she wasn't.
Yeah. Ever again? Yes.
Ever
But
again.
I talked to her at a very emotional moment in all of this, so
That's
I
fair.
was
That's fair.
surprised that she was competing. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm happy she's competing. She should.
When are you heading over there?
I'm not going to go after all.
What? I thought you were going.
Yeah, I thought I was too, but I've had just we're doing a lot of even testing today and just games prep, so I felt it made more sense just to stay back this time and focus on that. Um,
Who's doing your games testing? Come
I
on, dude.
mentioned it.
We
I
could be
mentioned
we
it
could
the
be
other day. I mentioned it the other day. You didn't catch it when you called. You didn't catch it. I said,
Rafa.
He caught it. You
See,
guys
okay, I was testing
testing.
you.
You
I
guys
was
testing
testing
event
you.
one
Hey,
over and over.
hey, dude, this is crazy. You know he is a brute athlete, Dave.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm putting.
So if me and Dallin are like 1 and 2, then people are just gonna.
I do. I have complete confidence and trust in him that he is not sharing anything with anyone.
Okay.
Um,
Did you have that conversation about the open?
yeah, I've had that conversation with him about the open.
No one believes we didn't know the workout.
Oh, I
Dave,
know.
could you tell everybody that we didn't know the workout? We were warming up with 95-pound barbells in the
I
back.
didn't touch a deadlift in the warm up area.
Everyone is convinced you two knew the workouts.
What?
I'm
This is
not.
why
I'm
you
not.
you walked back
Eh,
there and you saw us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like there was some rumors about what movements, and so you could like,
Yeah,
we
I think you guys knew what everyone else knew, which was there was a
exactly.
lot, a lot.
Thank you, thank you. Clear my
You
name.
guys knew.
Clear my
You guys
name,
knew.
Dave.
I'm not gonna be able to clear it. No one's gonna listen to me. No one's gonna believe me.
Jason also
But
like almost said it perfectly, just trying to say random stuff on
mhm,
Pedro's
mhm.
podcast.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Pedro? Which one's that, anyways? I don't even know who that
The
I
is.
like
coffee
him.
pods and mods. I like
Yeah.
I
Pedro a
like
Okay.
lot.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's got an
definitely
interesting demeanor.
he's definitely my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah. He asked me to go on his show, but I ignored the request.
Why'd you not
Uh,
ignore us?
because I like you, and I don't dislike him. But um, you
Sorry,
reach
Pedro.
out. You reach out, Jason, via text.
I thought he was saying he liked me and disliked Alan.
No, 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 no.
So if
No, I'm
I
saying
would
that
have
about.
asked, this didn't happen.
Well, you don't contact me on a regular basis like Jason. Jason reaches out every.
Jason's always
Jason,
trying to.
yeah, Jason reaches out on a regular basis. So that's why I figured
I'm
I
literally
want
just
to.
trying to be friends. This
He
dude,
called me the other fucking day while he was in bed, and apparently it's some like challenge or something. Not a challenge, but like a game.
you don't have
And
to
then he
explain
put
it.
it on his
The
story.
whole world saw it,
Everyone already
man.
saw the video.
They also, Jason also exposed my secret for the open announcement. Open tip. Remember or hint, open hint. During
Oh,
Albany, his
I think
wife
that
and
was
the.
Grace Ann.
I think you exposed yourself.
Good. Yes, exactly.
Physically, you
Um,
were exposed when you.
I was definitely exposed during that moment.
Oh
That was
man, that
a,
was
and you know what? You guys were absolutely right. I was so wrong on. I said, you guys were like, Dallin's gonna have the fastest time, and I was like, I don't think so. I'm like, I think maybe someone after seeing this will take it, and you did
that.
it. You
That
kept
felt
it.
good to say that in the interview after, and it actually work out.
Yeah, it
That
was
was
true. It
nice.
was true. Yep.
He did crush. Good job, Dallin.
Yeah.
I think that was the best open performance across all athletes in the live announcement overall because we were all top five. I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's probably true.
Kale
Yeah.
beat me.
Yeah, Kale. Yeah. Top four
Oh man.
pending.
Do you think I
Yeah.
have a question for you guys? Do you think the in affiliate semifinals, the way you guys punched your ticket, some people have suggested, and I kind of like this idea, but I'm going to ask you guys anyways. Do you think it should be at the end of all of this?
I do. I
So
think.
basically, all of the in-person events, and then that. Because here's the thing: if you do that, obviously it drives people. You have to go to the in-person events, or you have to take a gamble and
Yeah.
just earn your ticket on this.
I think if you were to do the in affiliate semifinals at the end, maybe a few more spots are allocated to the in person events.
Yeah,
It'll drive ticket sales, all that stuff, get more athletes in person, and then maybe the in affiliate is acting as the LCQ in a way, and there's 5 or 6 spots, something like that.
yeah. Jason.
I have not really thought much into it. I'm actually selfishly glad it was online and it was the first thing to just get it out of the way. It was very convenient and it should stay that way.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have
I
I
a
think
don't
that is.
disagree
I
with that. Super nice.
I have a question over the 12th spot that was taken away. Why didn't y'all just keep it? Why does it have to be thrown
Well,
to
it all
can't
depended on the
qualify?
number of events, and then we gave that one to the last chance qualifier, right? Oh man, Justin got 11th.
What? No, he didn't.
I'm looking. Hold on. What am I looking at? No, this is the wrong leaderboard. 1 second to open. Okay, hold on. Semifinals. Let's see.
I
I'm
think it
trying
was
to
like
see the leaderboard for
7 or 8.
this. Okay, got it. I was looking at the wrong leaderboard.
Yeah.
He got 11th. He got 11th in the open.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um. What?
How many times are you gonna send Rafa through event 1? Because we're all gonna be doing it like a bunch of times.
Oh, that one I didn't even have him test.
You just threw that
That
one
one's
together?
straightforward. Yeah, that one's straightforward.
Is it?
Okay, so Jeff.
Are we rowing down the river? Like actually?
That's a great idea. Jeff, Jay, Dallin, Tudor, Jason. I haven't even heard Tudor's name this season. I didn't even know he was still. Sorry, hold on. It's cool to see that he made it.
Yeah,
Was
he
he
did.
was he one of was he with you, Bet Dallin, in the age groups?
Yeah. He
Okay.
was every other year I would compete with him.
Oh, Jason, you tied with Tudor on the
Yeah.
leaderboard. James, Ricky, Justin, Enrico. I don't know who that is. Colin Bassard.
Zanoni or something?
Colin's been around, right?
Colin?
Who?
Yeah.
Colin, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and Harry Lightfoot.
I think this is the
Okay,
first year Colin's qualified though. He's good though. We were out at Fit Fest with him in London.
and Harry's been around for a while.
Yeah,
He's gonna do really well at that run event. Colin.
both those guys actually.
What do you think the time? What do you think someone will do the run event in on the fast end?
Oh, I
Oh,
did the math the other day.
Jeff is
So
definitely gonna put that a workout.
Yeah,
so say I don't know 6:30, 7 minute, 28 minutes for the first four. Think
It's
28's
definitely.
too aggressive or faster?
I think.
it'll be faster.
I can see Jeff running like a
Six.
6:10, 6:15 mile.
Okay, so let's say 25 minutes there, and then how fast on the row? Well, here's
Call
the
it
crazy thing.
11.
You guys, when we did the marathon at the games, I mean, dudes were holding in like I think the fastest time was in the 148 like pace, 148 for a marathon.
is that Lucas Hogberg?
That he
I
did
think
not
it
hold that
was.
the entire time.
I think he did. I swear. Pull it
Dude,
up.
no way. 148 the entire time. There's
It
no
was
So I got
definitely.
chance, Dave.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull
153s.
Yeah.
153. No,
Yeah,
hold on,
No
hold on.
chance he was holding
CrossFit
148 the whole
Games
time.
marathon row.
Are you out of touch, Dave?
I am out of touch. 243. Okay, 243. 243 was his time. 243. Let's do the math. 243 marathon, 500-meter pace.
I'm gonna say his average was 154.
150. 150.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's not that
That
far
is
off of what I said. That's
that is
insane.
faster.
150 is fucking insane to hold that pace for a marathon. So like clearly you're gonna have to be in the low 140s for the 3K. I mean, what do you guys what
I don't think
Oh,
so because the
I
run.
don't think so. Yeah,
okay, so what do you pace around 150, 145?
dude.
150,
If I get
155?
off that run, if I'm, you can just make up so much more time on the run.
Well, the
If
last 2 miles, you gotta have something to just fucking go, especially in the
Yeah.
last mile.
if someone's on the rower for 30 seconds longer or 30 more seconds than somebody else on the row, you can easily make that up on 6 miles running.
Well, I'll say this: you're not gonna win it on the rower,
No.
but you can definitely lose it. That's the thing with all these machine implements. Typically, you're not gonna win it on any of them, but you could easily put yourself too far behind.
I see people rowing mid 145 to 148s for the most part.
You
Okay,
say,
so
wait,
what
did
would?
you just say you can't win it on the machines, Dave?
No, I'm saying on the longer, like on a short
Uh,
one for sure, but like on a longer effort. So say something like this, where it's a 3K, or
yeah.
You have to pace the strategy because you can again if you go too hard on that, you might be the fastest rower, but overall you'll probably lose.
So are we going to see?
If you're the slowest runner, chances are you're not going to win or rower.
So that workout, that row workout, or that row in that workout is the most irrelevant thing. Are we going to see the rower again?
If you look at the history of, I don't think it's irrelevant. I'd say I'm not going to agree with that. If you look at the history if you look at the history of the programming of the games, you pretty much will see consistent across the board. If something appears, it usually doesn't appear again.
What
So
about
that's how
running 4 times?
I'll answer. Okay, so that's different. If running doesn't count because
Running
there's
is an outlier.
How does
because
running count?
there's such different expressions. There's long
No.
runs, there's
I,
sprints, there's short runs, there's kind of
Okay.
this mid range running.
There's 100
So
calories and there's 10.
okay, fair enough point. Fair enough point.
yeah. No, I get
You
what you're
would
saying.
would you Jason? Would you win a 500 meter for time?
Who am I beating? Am I just
The
outright
field,
beating everybody?
yeah,
I
the
don't.
field.
I think Ricky's going to win that.
I think he's talking about a row.
Oh yeah, without a
500
doubt, 100%.
row.
Yes,
I'm talking about
yes,
row.
yes,
Okay. I was surprised you were answering that Ricky would win that. No, that's what I meant. 500-meter row.
yes.
You know he's
Um,
going to say yes no matter what you ask, right?
that's not true.
No, I don't. I mean,
I just said
I
Ricky.
he
mean,
just said
yeah,
he
because,
said
well,
for a run.
clearly.
I'll say this, Jason. Have you ever rode the marathon since we did that at the games whenever we did?
You think I've just decided to row a marathon?
Yeah, I do. I think because you're a games athlete, that's something you should be like, they did this before. I'm going to spend one day and I'm going to spend 2 hours and 43 minutes to tackle this
I
effort.
will
That's so
bet.
he get
I will bet almost everything that not one games athlete this year who was not there that year has ever decided to just row a marathon for fun.
I bet you not for fun. This You guys don't do anything for fun. You guys are doing it for training. I would bet you that
But the
some
thing is,
people in the field have done it.
Do you
I bet you
think,
Guaranteed.
no. But do you think it is worth doing that if it's going to affect my next 4 days of training?
Well, that's the thing. It does not. It will not affect your 4 days of training. I've rode the marathon twice, and like the recovery, it's not. It's not like running a marathon. Running a marathon is gonna beat you up, right? That you're gonna be really physically fucked up from that. Rowing the marathon. I mean, we had those guys do that at the first part of the games,
And they
and
were
then they
limping off of the floor.
off of but that's the first. That's the first
BKG
five
almost died
minutes.
in the ice bath?
That's the first 5 minutes of the event.
You really are out of touch, Dave.
No. You guys are wrong. Let's take a look at that year's games. Um, they hold on.
Dave, why can't we just row a marathon again?
I'm debating putting it back in just so you have to do it now, just so you can see your score.
I was I was a teenager that year.
Just to see our score, you're gonna put it in.
Yeah, just to see how you would score.
I was a teenager that year, and I said, I'll row a marathon when Dave puts it into the games again.
That's funny.
Dave, we know you have favorites.
No, that's not true.
That's
Okay,
true.
tell me who you think. 2018 games, we had the marathon row. And I mean, Margot Alvarez, she did it in 3 hours flat, and she beat a bunch of dudes, a handful of guys.
She did smash that one.
All right, we have so many questions to get to, Dave. We
So
haven't even scratched the
ask me the
surface.
How
favorites
many
question.
events is Rafa testing? Is
A
it 9?
handful.
Is it 10? Is
Are
it
we
9 with a
doing?
two-parter?
Are
It's
we
a
doing
handful.
Amanda 45 on Friday night?
I like that you guys think that. Just keep rolling with that. Let's just keep that going.
I know you're not going to leak anything, or it wouldn't be a leak because you would be telling us. I don't think you're going to tell us anything, but I do have a question.
Go
Could you
ahead.
tell us? And this has nothing to do with, actually, it might a little bit. Could you tell us how many events we are doing? Because listen, hear me out. It would change everything about our training leading up to the games. And some of us might be prepared based on luck, and some of us might be very unprepared based on just what we think is going to happen. So if I train for a 9-event weekend that's going to dictate my training, and it's going to look completely different versus if we have a 12 to 13 event weekend. So I just need to know what kind of volume I need to be doing over the next 2 months. And
Well, let me ask you this
I
question.
think that if you tell us, we will all get to the games on an even playing field.
You will
And
find the fittest on earth.
yeah,
Let me say this.
and
How many days are the CrossFit Games?
3.
3.
Historically, how many events do we do in a day?
3 except 2018.
And how many did we do in 2018 on a day?
4. The first day.
So what's your
So
answer,
one
Dave?
day, so listen, so
Somewhere
one
between
day
9 and
had,
12.
so 2018, one day had 4 events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other days had what?
3. So we're doing 10
3.
events.
So you can play with again, look at the history and look at how we've done things. There was one year where we had 5 events. That was at the 2009 games at the ranch. We did a 5 event day, and we never did that again like that, like 5 like full CrossFit workouts. So if it's 3 days, and typically you guys said there's 3 workouts in a day. On an extreme end, there was a day with a 4 workout day. I mean, you guys know how many workouts are going to be. Just keep playing with those numbers in your head. I think you said
But
anywhere between 9 and 12.
we've never had a games in 3 days. So who knows? You're
That's
trying
not true. That's not true. There's been plenty of games in 3 days.
okay, in like
Even 2020.
2005.
No. 2020. 2020 was a 3-day game.
And you made
Yeah.
them do like 10 events a day.
Hold on.
You had them.
See.
There was 15 events that year. You had them do
No.
5 a day,
No. No.
dude. There was 15, dude. There was
I'm checking.
15. There was 15.
There was 12 events. There was 12 events. I'm looking at it now. And the Friday was a 5 scored event day, which included 2 of them. One was the CrossFit Total, and one was a handstand sprint. So the handstand sprint, like,
That doesn't
okay,
matter.
so 5 events. Day 2 had 4 events, and day 3 had 3 events. So it wasn't 15.
Okay, so then we're doing
It
12
was
events
a
at the CrossFit Games.
well. That's what we did in 2020.
Okay, but you're telling us to go look at the history of the CrossFit
I know
Games.
that's one historical data point. Look at some of the others. I'm telling you, look at the history, all the history, not just 2020.
Okay.
Also understand too, like look at the logistics, and you look at something like that day, having 5 events like that, totally possible when there was 5 athletes on the men, 5 on the women. To try to do that same sort of 5 event day with 30 individuals and with teams in there, logistically would be really challenging. Not impossible, but really challenging.
What do you have to say
Well,
to the people who will go?
I was going to say, you did say there's more flexibility going from 30 athletes from
There
40.
definitely is. Yeah.
So I'm saying it
Like
now. We're going to have
one,
10 events, 4 events on day 1, 3 and 3. Heard it here first.
um,
But seriously though, like,
yeah.
do you miss those old days?
Oh, it's interesting. Oh, well, because like
I
here's the
do.
thing. I will say this.
Do you?
Everything's
Who goes
changed,
first?
and it's changing at the pace things change. And like I can't sit here and go, oh, I really love the old days and I miss the old days. Like, yeah, there were some great things back then, there were some great moments, but we are where we are, and it's evolved to what it is, and we have to deal with what we have. And that's the truth of it. I'm not looking back too much thinking, man, I wish we were still in the 17, 18, 19 years or anything like that, because it's just a different era. And so now I just have to focus on the current and, you know, making it the best it could possibly be going forward.
Do you have any regrets? How you've kind of like, I guess, gone throughout the last 15 years. If you could go back and do a couple things different, what would it be over the last 15 years? Not event wise, but just, leading from the front.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think there's a lot of things. I don't think there's a lot of things that are gonna pop up, and I'll say right here that are gonna appease
You need to
or
say it right here.
answer the question well. That is something like I would like to take a lot of time with and reflect and think about if I were to answer appropriately. Um, I will say this about I think a lot of the changes over the years, there's been some good ones and there have been some poor ones. And so, um, yeah, and the other piece is I could look back at all of these events and I could look back and say, oh, I would have done this differently or we should have changed that. But I also don't dwell or stay there too long. Like I'm even looking at the workouts from 2020 and I'm like, I don't know, 2007 reload. Maybe we should have just repeated the 2007 event and not done it as is. I think the corn sack sprint was appropriate, total appropriate. The handstand sprint, again, I don't know. The ranch loop, I think that was great. I think that year's games, I think that was great, especially with what happened with Rich flipping me or Matt flipping me off and telling him to run back. I think that year doing the online stage for the 20 athletes and then bringing the five, I wish we could have maybe brought 10 and 10, but that's what we had to deal with. I'm just glad we had a games that year.
We're
I
gonna put.
wish, okay, I'll say
We're
this
gonna put.
region.
We're gonna go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think regionals, I mean, yeah, regionals going away really impacted and affected all of this. And I think that would have been, I wish we could have kept them, but again, it's just a different outcome.
Do you think it's too far gone to go back to that exact model?
Uh, it might be. It might be. Because here's the thing, man. That model, I think that model actually would be better served for the affiliates and the community than actually you guys. I
Yeah.
think it was good for you guys, but it was really good. And ultimately, here's the twist with that. What's good for the affiliates and the community ultimately is good for you guys because it's the feeder system to the whole thing. And the more they're enthusiastic and fired up about it, the better we all are with it. I think it could it could be reconsidered and thought of as a potential way to do things in the future. But I don't know. It's not going to happen next year. I doubt, unless
Do you,
someone new buys CrossFit and says, "Let's do that."
well, what are the new details on that? Are you buying it?
Help me, loan me some money, and
Do
I'll
I need
buy
to?
it.
Do I need to spot
Do you
you?
even
The
do you
three
Do I
of
need to
even
us will
spot?
come
Do I need to
together.
spot you?
spot you at 20?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hey, good
I'll
news.
start a
Good news.
GoFundMe.
Good news. If I come
I
if
got
I
that.
I got that too. If I come in second this year, I might
Yeah,
be able to put some money up.
yeah. You'll be able to put some money. I
It'd be like, how much does
I'm
second
not
place?
involved.
It's under
I don't
100
know what
grand.
the status is. It's not for it's not sold yet. I know there's a lot of rumors that it's sold, but it's definitely not sold yet. I'll say this: if no, I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of money if you want to buy this thing.
Um, are you on board writing workouts? Is it still something that like wakes you up?
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
it?
yeah. Totally. I'm totally excited by it. I really enjoy it right now. I'm motivated by it. I want to kind of just this year just think pure CrossFit. Don't think anything wild. Don't think anything crazy. Like I'm kind of just resetting and grounding. Someone asked if what new implements and new things are going to be there. I'm like, don't plan on worry about anything new. Just fucking focus on CrossFit. And like it's going to be just a hardcore test of fitness and CrossFit, just bare bones basics. So, and it's like you said about the workout not being creative. Again, like a lot of the things I program and want to focus on are just the bare bones essence of CrossFit and clean programming, and give you guys the platform to excel at it. So 21:59 thrusters and pull-ups, not exciting at all until you see everybody racing and until you see people doing it in 1 minute and 45 seconds and they're just fucking fighting to cross the finish line. So a workout on paper cannot be exciting or intriguing to people, but then in application, when you guys are putting your all into it and racing, it becomes incredibly appealing and a great storyline.
But we're gonna do more than like 12 total bar in a round, right?
Can we have
Um,
thrusters back to back in the final again?
hold on. That is exactly what I kind of want to bring up. Dave, explain yourself on these back-to-back events that are not the same. Can you explain
Yeah.
yourself with that? Like there was one a couple years ago when Willie George won both of them, and then Matt was in second on both of them, and how Dallin ended up beating me at the games because he
Even if there
paid.
was only one
He
event, I
paid.
would have beat you.
No chance.
Yeah.
No.
So the games to some
Which
degree
one?
are
Which one?
Either of them. The last.
the
That's
game.
not true.
The,
I'll check.
If the second one was, then sure. But explain yourself, Dave, why you think those two. I mean, Austin Hatfield went from 19th to 10th and took both of those 100 points. So, will you?
So the games, I believe, largely to some degree, are a test of recovery, right? And there's this macro sense of recovery in terms of recovery over an entire weekend. And I think what really separated Rich and Matt beyond everybody else was their ability to recover, their ability to recover quickly, their ability to recover throughout a day, and their ability to recover throughout the weekend. And why I say that over the years, by the time Sunday comes around, when I'm looking at athletes and seeing their performances, you can see a lot of people. The weight of the previous 2 or 3 days or 4 days in some circumstances is on their shoulders and they're just dragging along. That's also why I believe the cuts, even though we're not doing them this year, are and were appropriate because there's a point where people are just going through the motions because they're so beat up from the cumulative effect of all the weekend. So, in this idea of a test of recovery, there's recovery throughout the weekend, which I just talked a lot about. There's recovery throughout a day. So, you do one event, and 2 or 3 hours later, you do another event, and 2 or 3 hours later, you do another event. And then there's recovery within basically a heat, which I think is also really important to test. Recovery within a few minutes and perform at a super high level in one, recover, perform a super high level in another. That's why you see the back to backs like that and scored. And the similarity of movements at times is just because to accomplish the back to back, there is going
Well,
to be
we should
similarity of
do
movement.
two events back to back with Echo Bike then.
That's possible. Yeah. And I hear and get you with the thruster piece and argument, but that is also like I will say this. Okay, two movements back to back with I think let's say an echo bike. Let's use that example.
We should. I'm not
Now,
advocating for any back to backs, by the way. I know I said Echo Bike, but just saying.
but and exactly for what you're saying, the reason you're saying that is exactly why back to backs are so important because people don't want to see back to back because it is so
No, I'm not.
challenging
No,
and
I'm
so
saying.
hard.
I'm not saying I want to see it. I'm saying that if you do it, then if it's an Echo Bike, I'm not saying I don't want to see it, not because I don't believe it, but I'm saying
Okay.
I don't want. I don't know. I'm confusing myself. I'm saying I don't want to do it because it's. I don't think it's appropriate. Not because I don't think we should do back to back Echo Bikes. Because if we did
Okay.
back to back Echo Bikes, then it's like I'm going to have two great scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's appropriate
So like a
to do back to
thruster.
back similar. I don't think we should do run power clean into run squat clean, if that makes sense.
um, let's say it was run power clean into run squat clean. Someone who's well rounded and a really good CrossFitter should thrive at either version,
Like
and that's
Justin
kind of
Medeiros.
what we're
Like
looking
Guy,
at.
like
Looking
Jeff
for.
Adler.
Guy wouldn't. I don't think Guy would do great at that. And run. If you made the run 400 or 800, you think Guy's going to do great at that?
But you
What
didn't.
if it? What if the run was like
You made a boat
200?
200s.
um,
Uh, Jason, I want you to know if we didn't do the heavy thruster bar muscle up and it just ended after that, I would have beat you by 3 points. So I hope you can sleep good.
So one
No.
spot.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, hey, I had another question about event one. Did the landscape of, I believe it's pronounced Albany, as we found out at the announcement, did the landscape and maybe parks, trails, streets change the distance or impact it in a way?
It definitely influenced the event. I wouldn't say it had much to do with the distance. There's an area there where we could run really far. We could just run straight for a long time. It could have been longer. So, but it definitely influenced in terms of like having the rowers and being a place where we can lay all that stuff out. So the landscape did come into consideration for sure.
Are we going to be outside anymore other than that event?
You'll just have to wait to find out for that.
Okay.
Do you know the
Does he
general
know? Are you
floor
Of
layout?
course he knows. What?
Okay. Do you want to
No.
share the general floor layout? Will it be similar to Rogue with the turf? I think that's cool. Allows for a lot of things. I mean, we know the venue's huge. We
Rogue with the
saw it.
turf.
Like Rogue had Zeus and then rubber
It's not
flooring
going to be. It's not
and then
going to. It'll
turf,
think just again more traditional CrossFit
like
like
Texas.
floor than what Rogue did.
All right.
All right. All right.
All right. Don't know if that changes anything I was going to do, but I just thought it was a good question.
No, it won't change anything you guys are going to do.
Oh
Uh,
man.
well, Dallin, have I been a good host?
I think you've done good. Normally Justin's the host.
Yeah.
How's Justin do as a host?
Justin
Very great.
smashes it.
He carries
Does
us.
he? Yeah,
It's
I
went
hope.
pretty
I like
smooth.
Justin. I like Justin. How are you guys? How'd you guys all connect?
Me and
Why'd
Dallin
you
hate each other.
guys?
Yeah.
You guys love each other.
Hated each other first.
How Justin get involved in this?
Justin wanted to be loved by us.
So let me ask you this
uh,
question. I know what you're each going to say, but I want to hear it anyway. What's the top three at the games for you guys?
Wait, you're
Who are the
saying
top three? Who are the
who?
top three? Who's the podium? What's the podium? Yeah, Dallin, you go first.
me,
Okay.
Jeff.
Okay.
Be for real.
Um,
Be for real.
I'm trying to be for real. Uh,
Don't say it.
it's here's the thing.
That's
When we
crazy.
were,
Wait, you're not gonna. That's wild. That's wild.
am
Just
I
go
gonna say
to.
James? Am I say Jason, Justin? Uh, I will say when we were at WFP a few weeks ago, in that final heat, I think those ten guys, it's deep. It's a deep field.
That
It's
doesn't answer the
dense.
question at all.
That doesn't answer the
No, no, I
question.
got two. I got 2 out of 3.
Why are you so
Where
fixated
do you
on
think
Jeff?
James ends up? You don't think James will
Why are you
podium?
so fixated on Jeff?
I'll say James. Me, Jeff, and James.
Okay. Jason, go ahead and answer.
All right.
Is he
Jason,
frozen
answer.
for you too? No.
Yeah, he
No,
was
he's
frozen.
just
What did you say, Dave?
frozen in the head. I said, you go ahead and answer.
See, the thing is, I'm I'm not oblivious to how the games work. And so I understand that in order for the person to win the games, everything has to go right for them. And it seems like Dallin doesn't understand that. So I'm going to say this,
What do you mean?
that I know that the champion is going to be the fittest person in the world, but it's going to, you just have to have some things go your way. And so am not oblivious to the fact that there are some people who are better than me at a lot of things. And so I'm going to say this. If everything goes right for me, I can see myself on top of the podium.
Okay.
Okay. That's going to require a lot of luck on your part with, me and you talking. But on a serious note, it really does come down to, it's going to come down to the events for a lot of the guys. There are some people who I would say it doesn't really affect that they're going to be like one or two, but I do think it comes down to when it comes down to the details of those placements, how those events are going to play a factor. It could be as simple as, are we doing legless rope climbs or regular rope climbs? You know what I'm saying? It could be as easy, or are we doing a workout with It doesn't matter. It's going to come down to the details. So
I would
I'm
like
gonna
to question how this was any different than my answer.
You didn't
Other
say
than it
any
was
of it. You didn't
longer.
say any of this.
But
I
he
said
still hasn't
all the
answered.
10
Let him
guys.
answer, Dallin. Let him answer, Dallin.
Yeah, he
I'm
hasn't
just,
even answered.
I'm just setting it up. No,
You're
because
taking a long
Say the
route to set it
because
names.
up.
here's the thing. If I just said, "Hey, me, Jeff, and Justin," then everybody's gonna be like, "Okay, he's just doing it just to do it. He's just saying it because he's got to." You know what I'm saying? I'm explaining myself. If you throw in two workouts that I'm gonna do trash at, then that's gonna affect if I am on the podium or not. Same with Dallin. If we run 5 times, that's
Wait,
gonna
wait, wait.
affect.
We ran
That's gonna.
5 times last year and I got on the podium.
You didn't. We ran 4.
Oh.
And the mile and the sprint were 50 points each, so you dodged a bullet. Anyways, that brings me to my
I don't
answer.
think they were.
They, oh, they,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
definitely
They
were.
were. Yeah,
They
they were.
They were
definitely
50
were.
points?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Okay, that brings me to my answer. If everything goes right, I definitely think I could be on the podium. Okay, but I
Okay.
will say Jeff, me, and Austin.
Say James.
Didn't let me say this about James.
Austin has.
Hasn't James beat Jeff in a couple of events, couple competitions, not events,
Uh,
competitions.
the WFP we were at, James
Did
beat
he win
everyone
in
but
there?
Austin.
Okay. And what about didn't he beat him at Rogue?
I'm gonna say
No.
I'm gonna say the podium at the games is the podium from. Oh, I can't say World Fitness Project because Jeff
You
wasn't
can
on
say
there.
whatever you want. Oh
Because
yeah.
Dave's here.
Yeah. Let me say this. Let me say this. I want to say this. Go back to your rant about everything falling in place. So, do you think for 4 years
My
in a row
rant.
for Rich Froning, everything just happened to fall in place for
No,
him?
no, no,
Do
no.
you
I
think
said
for 4 years in a row, everything just happened to fall in place for Matt to be ideal?
those
My
people,
point is,
those two guys were so far ahead of everybody else. You
okay,
can't
good,
say that
good,
about anybody here.
true, good answer. And the same thing for Tia. For 5 or 6 years in a row, everything's fallen in place for her. I will say this. The answer is no. They're just that well rounded. The other answer is there needs to be someone else that is that well rounded that it does not fucking matter what comes out. And I think the person that most fits that bill at this stage and this point is fucking Dallin. Um, I think Dallin has the
What?
Let's
potential to be
go.
that
I was going to
guy.
ask you.
And Jeff probably is second
He
in
hasn't
that
taken a
regard.
top 4 in the last 2 major
I know, but
competitions.
he's in his
I'm building.
development. He's developing,
He
and
started when he was 12, bro. He's in his genetic ceiling when he was 20.
exactly. He's and James I would say is close to being there too.
He's literally maintaining at this point.
James is close to being there too. But I will say this about James. James has the same problem you do, Jason, where you're just a little too big. You guys are
Okay,
doing
thank you.
amazing shit. You guys are doing amazing and performing incredibly well for how big you are. But some of these smaller guys on certain
Dallin is
things,
small.
shorter. He's thick,
I'm a
but
little
he's like,
shorter.
yeah, he's a little
Not
shorter.
much.
Some of
A little bit.
these 5'10" to 5'11", this 5'10" to 5'11" height seems to be a really optimal play. And interestingly and honestly, neither Rich or Matt are 5'10" or 5'11".
They're
They're
not even 5'8".
short.
So when
Matt,
he
Rich might be, but
I could give
Frazier's not.
Rich. I'll give Rich
Yeah,
credit.
when Dallin does not podium at the CrossFit Games, what can I do with this
clip
cut
it,
up
cut it,
this
say it. I mean,
and
just
say it to
run with
you?
it. Yeah,
Say
yeah,
it to
yeah.
you, say it to
We can
anyone.
all
Say
collab
it to
on it.
the world.
We'll
Say
collab
it to
on
the
it. Yeah.
world. Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. That's funny that you wouldn't say Jeff.
I did say Jeff. I said Dallin and Jeff. I said Jeff. I literally said Jeff, didn't I, Dallin?
He did. He did say
Yeah, I did.
All I
I
heard,
did.
all I heard was Dallin.
Because all when you were Dallin, all you saw was red. You were just like this motherfucker. You
Hey,
wanted to reach through the screen and
I'm
choke me.
actually. This was good. This is good because I'm going for a run after this, and I needed that. I needed that. It's raining
All the
outside.
motivation.
I was actually going to go to the gym and run on a treadmill, but I'm going outside now to Just who cares?
Yes.
Who's gonna?
Get hard.
Did you guys see this ruck challenge thing that I did?
I did see
So
the ruck challenge. I was gonna ask you about
there's
that.
this ruck race league, and the challenge for this month was put as much weight on your back as you can and go for a mile. So I did 188 pounds for 1 mile. I'm gonna try for 200 in a couple days. I'm wondering what someone like I would say someone like you, Jason, needs to start at like 250. Probably even Dallin, you need to start at 225. The problem with this though is finding a way to put the weight in a pack,
He's
to
a
find
mental
a way
midget.
to carry all this weight.
Do you think I can
That's the
run
biggest.
50 miles in 12 hours?
If with no training, no. If you were to train for it, yes.
You don't think I could go
Hold on, let
outside
me think.
with
So 50
a lot
miles
of
in
fluids?
12 hours. I think it'll break you down. I think you'll be really surprised. Do I think you could run a marathon in sub 4? No. Do I think you could run a marathon in 4:30? Yes. So let's say you ran a marathon in 5 hours. That's 26 miles. And then you do another 26 miles. That's another 5 hours. And then by that time, you're just breaking down and getting fatigued, 6 or 7. I don't think you guys train. I don't think you train like that at all. I think it'd be
But do you
12
think?
hours would be really challenging for you to do 50 miles.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I so I have to do a 4 mile loop every hour. So if I ran a
Oh, what is it? I think I've
let's
heard
say
this. What is this?
The
yeah
What's it
yeah
BPM,
for?
the
yeah.
ultra.
So let's say I did this, Dave. You don't think I could do this? Let's say I
I think you
ran a
can with
10-minute
training. Yeah.
mile. No, without training. A 10-minute
Okay.
mile. The first mile, okay? 10 minutes. And then I spent 50 minutes at a very, very fast walk for 50 minutes. And then I did 1 mile of actual running, and I basically got myself a nice buffer to just walk 3 miles for the remaining hour. And I did that 12 times. Put in an audio book and just go to work. Find a flow. You can't tell me that I could not walk for 12 hours, and that 1 mile run on the hour is somehow going at a 12-minute pace is going to break me down to the point where I can no longer physically move.
I'm not saying you're going to be
Go
broken
ahead,
down to where
Dallin.
you can walk.
Dallin, rebuttal that, Dallin.
How
Well,
much
you
do you
first
weigh?
went from a 10-minute mile to a 12-minute mile on your run.
It doesn't matter. Make which one do you want me to run?
Jason, how much do you weigh?
220.
Damn, you're big. What's this event for? What is it?
It was the BPN did a
Yeah, that
last man
thing. I saw
standing
that.
ultra. They went the two winner. Well, they didn't actually
They went
end it
like
because the weather.
250 miles, right?
238 miles, and they had to call it because of weather.
I don't know if you. Okay. I'll be generous. I'll be nice. Yes, you can do it. And I'm going to support your GoFundMe to do it. So start one up, and I'll donate $50 to help your effort, so you can do this.
Oh,
You don't think
so
my
cool.
strategy, Dallin? I haven't.
I don't like your strategy, but I also like.
I was gonna say you've thought about this a lot since Tuesday.
I don't like your strategy because I'm more of the type of just like let's bank a lot early and then kind
But that's
of
the thing that would break me down if I don't have the training under my belt.
yeah. But
So
even
also,
though
we were
So
saying you
I'm not,
had to do the 4.2 miles every hour instead of like going for 5 hours straight resting.
and I said I could do it, but people are like, "Hey, you can't do it." Blah 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 blah. And I'm saying that I don't have the physical um, base to be able to run at a fast pace that long. That would break me down. My shins would split in half. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but I could game it and get that done.
do it, when are you going to do it? I'll come out and support you.
See, I'm not doing it because I know, and I'm very
Because he
secure.
knows he can.
Then
I know.
here's the thing:
The
if
thing
you're
is,
not doing it,
no, no, no,
I'll
no,
tell
no,
you
no,
this,
no, no,
Jason.
no, 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 no. There's
You go
no.
ahead, and then I'm gonna. If you're
Are you
not doing it, I
tripping?
want to fucking talk about it. How
But
about that?
but then put some money. Put some money on it. Then like
I
put
did $50.
$50. That's not gonna motivate me to waste my day and go waste 12 hours.
Well,
And I'm not. And I'm
if
so. I'm not going to do it for strangers who say I can't do it, because I'm never going to meet you, and I'm not going to live for you, and I'm not going to waste
Are
my
people
12
calling you
hours.
out and saying you can't do it, that you should do it?
Yeah, they're like, hey, dude, go do it. You're all bark, no bite. And I'm like, dude.
Well, the more you talk about it, you are all bark and no bite if you don't do it. So I would, if I was you, I'd advise just stop talking about it. Just stop
Shut it
talking
down.
about it. Yeah, shut it. No more. No more.
Hey, well, guess what, though? Speaking of all bark, no bite, I set up an appointment. You have no idea what this is, Dave, but the people do.
You'll actually like it. Dave will like
I
it.
I have a appointment set up next week to go platinum blonde on my hair for the games.
Damn, that's badass.
Yeah,
That's cool. I do
I
like
was
it. You're right,
I was gonna put it on Instagram yesterday, Dallin, but with everything going on between you and I, that was not gonna be a good look if I said I'm gonna go blonde.
Alan.
Dude, could you imagine?
I was like,
There's
dude.
a running joke. It's a joke. It's funny. It's happened a couple times. It's Dallin gets this, so Jason gets this. Dallin does this, so
the
Jason does
the
this.
thing
And then the
is,
joke, he's
and
going blonde.
I'm not gonna hide away from the fact that Dallin is very smart and very to the details when it comes to stuff. So it's like he's done the studying. So why do I need to go study if he's already studied? You know what I'm saying? So if he's saying this is the best jump rope in the game, and I trust him. I've been around him. He's done the homework. I'm just gonna go buy that jump rope. If it's the best grip, I'm gonna get that grip. You know what I'm saying? If this is, it's fill in the blank.
Are
Like
you are you
he's done the
also
homework.
are you gonna self anoint yourself the professor? Are you gonna give
No,
yourself that self title?
no, I can't take that. I'm not that. I'm not making spreadsheets. I can promise you that.
Uh,
That
all right, guys. Well, I appreciate the time. Thank you. I'm
was
done.
fun.
Where you
Let us
going?
Yeah,
know.
I got
Hey,
shit to do. This was I gave you guys a long time, much
you
longer than I
did give
thought I
us a
would.
long time. We appreciate that. Are we going to do our athlete interviews together?
Yeah, we're gonna do. No, fuck no. I'm gonna do you guys
Are you
soon. We're
counting
gonna do
this?
them separate.
Are you
No,
gonna
I
are you
should count
Are you
this.
going to post
I
this on
should.
your channel?
I should take this and count this as the athlete interview. Um,
Hey, I have a question. This is completely
yeah.
off topic, but I've been watching a bunch of Netflix lately, and I watched the Osama bin Laden
Okay.
documentary. Have you seen that?
I have not watched it.
Um,
I heard it's really good.
it is very good. Do you think that Robert O'Neill killed him?
Ooh, you're trying to get me in trouble. Uh, I am not going to answer that question
Okay, so
because of.
Red did it.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah,
But
do you want to say?
but you're asking the right questions. I will say that you are asking the right questions. All right, I'm out of here.
All
See you
right,
guys.
later, dude.
Later.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Bye.
later, Dave.
What do
Okay,
we do?
so you guys got to let us know. I think not having Justin here.
Don't say it was good.
No, not because no. We kept things at least moving along, and sometimes Dave likes to go like this,
Yeah.
and we
How would you rate ourselves? I would say you were a solid 8.5.
Oh, I honestly thought you were a 9. You did great. Let's just keep
Thanks.
yeah,
That's sweet.
let's keep
I'll bump you up to a 9.
yeah, let's go.
All right.
uh, I re-
What do you have coming up?
well, I just released a YouTube video today. And thanks to you guys, we hit 10,000 subscribers, so you should check that out. Jason,
Well done.
what can we uh expect? Dude, feels so weird that it's just me and you saying this. When it's all three of us, this feels so natural and like the right thing. And now I feel so weird.
I know. Well, should we play a game?
Let's run it.
Wait, we can't play a game with just us two.
No, we can. You pick a number, I'll close my eyes. You or no.
All right, here, I got the headphones on, so you say the number.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
then
you ready?
okay. I'm going to
Wait,
pick.
I can hear you.
Turn it down.
Don't know how to, what?
Just turn
Here,
down
I'll
your
just,
volume.
hold on.
Just plug your ears.
All right, hurry up.
89. Okay. Go.
All right. All right. All right. You got your number?
I got my number.
I would hope you do. All right.
Uh,
Give me a an NFL quarterback.
hmm. Oh, I can answer this one. You know I don't follow football that much right now. I'm gonna go with Peyton Manning.
Okay. 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 Um, give me a truck.
Truck.
Yeah, like if I just was like, I
Yeah,
want a truck.
yeah. I would go with a. I'm gonna go with an F-150 Lariat with a tremor package.
Okay. Okay. Um, give me a CrossFit movement for you.
For
Actually,
me,
for me. How well do you know me? How well do you know me?
running.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not the best, not the worst. Not, maybe 3 to 4 to 6. Um, give me, give me a movie.
I feel like I used that movie already. Um,
What, Sandlot?
yeah. Um, well, that doesn't count.
Sandlot?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with like a 94.
Close. It's close. It was an 89.
Okay.
I was hoping, given that it was like on a scale of 1 to 100, you take like your third to sixth on a run.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Well, you
guess.
said Peyton Manning. He's like one of the best ever.
Yeah, I know. I know.
um, hey, we were within 5, and
Yeah, that's a
that's all
win. I
that's
think
all we
according
can
to the
ask.
rules.
That's all we can
Uh,
ask for.
this feels so weird, dude.
What are we doing?
Let's just end this. I think we're gonna record again with Justin this week, so we'll have another one. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment
Subscribe.
who you want to come on the podcast next. All
All
right,
right,
guys,
y'all.
we are ending this. If you made it this far, you're a legend. We'll see
This is
you
this is how
whenever
our
next time.
this is how our phone calls at night go, Dallin. Whenever you call me in, we're just like, all right, good
Whenever
night, and
I
then
call
just
you.
it keeps going for like 30 more minutes.
All right, we're ending it now. See you next time.